Where do we start with that one? This is the instant reaction for Brighton, and March doesn't look as rosy, does it? Right then, where do we start with that one? I'm in a bus stop, it's pitch black. I feel like the lights have just gone out in our season a little bit. Look, I'm so deflated from that. I'm angry for a number of reasons. There's so many things to pick at from that football match. Look, I've just done a video a couple of days ago. You can go and check it out on the importance of March. Barely any Premier League football, a nice 2-week break for internationals, but a chance to be in 2 cup competitions. And what I was worried about today was that the players and the fans were not prioritising a competition because we were sticking all our eggs in a basket of a cup final that we are the massive underdogs in. Let's face it, Liverpool are one of the best teams in the world right now. And I was worried about that because I thought this gives us an opportunity to be in a competition, the FA Cup, not many good teams left. At the end of the month, we'd have a quarter final 2 weeks after that final. And it's just a massive opportunity missed. And dollop in a red card for one of our starting players for that cup final as well. And I just feel like there's an awful smell that follows Newcastle United around in our biggest moments, in our moments to get that awful monkey off our back to win a trophy. And today feels no different. Not only have we got out, not only have we had to go through the slog of 120 minutes of football and the drama of back and forth like a bloody ping pong match at times, but we've done exactly what happened last season, like 2 seasons ago, like Nick Pope getting that red card, one of our key players, and we've lost Anthony Gordon, who is a first choice starter, no matter what your opinions on him might be this season. And we are much weaker for a cup final where Anthony Gordon, when it's all said, last season, earlier in the season when we drew 3-3, he had them on toast in the second half. Trent, last season at St James's when we lost 2-1 in the last 10 minutes, when Núñez scored twice, he had Trent on toast and he scored. And he's now out of the match against the team he supports, who he's probably going to be trying to impress for something that is ridiculously stupid. I hope he comes out and apologises at the very bare minimum. Eddie Howe has said that he's going to appeal it. I've watched it back. It is so stupid. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Totally lost his head. I don't know whether the Brighton defenders said something to him to get him riled up. I don't know. But it is ridiculous. And it's just the definition. It shouldn't be called sod's law. It should be Newcastle United law that these things happen at such an important time of the season. He might get it knocked back by a game, the ban, because he doesn't punch him. He just pushes his head. But it's not getting rescinded. And it's stupid and it's ridiculous. And Anthony Gordon is a really humble, grounded guy. I think he really understands the fans. He's really on board with the fans, and he won't sleep tonight. He'll be cursing himself. There might have been a couple of teas in that dressing room, but I've got no sympathy. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So what was already a tough match becomes a mountain now because we don't have that many options on that left-hand side. So that's that rant about that ridiculous thing out the way. Let's talk about the match. Look, I thought first half we were okay. It had feelings of the Nottingham Forest match around it. We didn't pull up as many trees as we did against Forest, but I thought we edged it as the better team. We did take the lead, I thought rightly so, on the run of play. Lovely penalty by Isak, it was the right decision. And, you know, we were testing them, we were pushing them back. We weren't great with the ball. I thought Joe Linton, his aggression that we've been missing so much, that was plain for all to see in that first half. We have missed him, and he was here, there and everywhere on the pitch. Getting angry with the ref, getting in people's faces. I thought that was a bright start. I thought first half, Harvey Barnes, there's people said he's got to play in the cup final if Gordon's out. Not in a million Sundays does Harvey Barnes get in my team for the cup final. Under no circumstances does he play. I've been saying it for a long time now that he's not an Eddie Howe player. He's you know, right-hand side's not where he wants to be, admittedly, and I'll accept that for him. But he doesn't even have the pace when he's in the positions he doesn't want to be in when he gets the ball early to get out of them, because he's not capable of nipping the ball past the player and running past him like Willock can, like Murphy sometimes can. He wants to be on the shoulder, and this Newcastle United team do not play on the shoulder, and that's why, for me, he's never going to be suited to our system. I didn't like the title of impact sub that was given to him a lot at the start of the season when he was coming on and scoring against the likes of Wolves and Nottingham Forest. But he is. I'm sorry, he is. He does drag you up the pitch a little bit when you maybe need a goal, when you are trying to sit in and defend and hit them on the counter. And the reason he should not be anywhere near that team for the cup final is because defensively he offers nothing. He doesn't want to defend. And you've got to remember, if you're talking about him for the left-hand side against Liverpool in the final, that's against Mo Salah. Lewis Hall, if he's injured, we don't know yet. If he's up against Mo Salah, he needs all the help he can get. And Harvey Barnes will offer nothing. And he doesn't get anywhere near the team. And he was so disappointing again. Every time Harvey Barnes has played for Newcastle, he's been hooked off. And none of us are sad to see him go. So he was really bad in the first half. I thought Fabian Schär, my God, the whole 90 minutes. I'll touch on him in a second. But first half, look, they get in behind really easy. Minter, who else bangs in a goal? And it's a sucker punch to concede just before half-time. So you regroup at half-time, and what can we do? And I'm starting to get a little bit concerned now about what is being said at half-time, because Brighton came out full of beans, and we came out the total opposite, and it was a ping-pong match. I think Craig Hope said on Twitter, "Tell me, ma, it's next goal wins for who wants the tea." That's what it felt like. ITV neutrals watching it all must have been loving it. It was frantic. I was losing my voice. I was screaming back and forth. Duh. That's what it was like. Jesus Christ, I feel like I needed to be bong-eyed to keep an eye on what was going on. And that doesn't suit us at home because the crowd gets on the back and these players are already quite fragile at the moment. And Brighton had the better of it. We dropped a couple of yards deeper, exactly like we did against Nottingham Forest last week. But again, I hate to use the word fine margins, but it is based off fine margin. In that second half, there's a ball goes across the box and Joe Willock, it's on a plate for him to head it in and he misses it. Fabian Schär in injury time, I've watched it back. His shoulder's offside, and that's just the game we live in now. That's the game as it is today. When it's taken that long to be looked at, in my opinion, it should just be given as exactly what it is, which is a goal. If you're not sure, just give the goal. And yes, I might be saying that because I'm a Newcastle fan and that would have been us winning the football match, but in general, I think that should be a rule. And then it goes for extra. You know, he made changes. Miley came off. I don't think Miley had the greatest game today. Murphy came on. Look, Murphy has so many people in the stands on his back, and I get it. He's not the best with the ball at his feet. He's retaining possession's not great, but him to Barnes was chalk and cheese today on that right-hand side, in my opinion. He put in a couple of lovely balls. His support with Trippier was a lot better. And he just improved us, in my opinion. Isak was brilliant in the first half. Some of his touches, he's so important to everything we do. He goes off and we lose that dimension. For all that Callum Wilson has legs, we lose something. But still, we went into extra time, and I still think that our squad is better than Brighton's. And I think we should have been going on to win that football match. With the players that came on, the players we had at our disposal to replace others. The legs that we brought on in Joe Willock, we should have gone on to win that match. In extra time, I think we all expecting penalties at that point. I was expecting penalties because a lot of teams drop back and they're happy with penalties at that point. And then, look, the referee, I've got to touch on the referee in extra time. Referee, I just thought had a shocker today. Look, he's made the red card. I'm not saying he's had a shocker for that because it was a red card, but there's just no consistency in football. In extra time, Joe Willock gets cleaned out, fully cleaned out when he's racing through on a slight counter, and there's no card. And it was just disgraceful. And at that point, I just lost it. The standard of refereeing in this country, to say that it's supposed to be the best league in the world, don't care whether it's the FA Cup, is a joke. I don't watch enough football around Europe to know whether it's better in other leagues, but it needs to improve if we are going to claim it's the best sport. I just thought inconsistent for both parts with decisions he was given and he wasn't given, and he was rightfully getting grief from the fans. Extra time, we did create little half chances. I thought Joe Willock kept on popping up in good areas down the left, but that's all he did because his final ball was terrible every time. Matt Targett came on because we had no Lewis Hall, and he slowed us down loads. No good balls into the box, really lethargic when he had the ball. He's had no game time, so that was a weird change for me. If it was forced because of an injury, then fair enough. And then Brighton sting us, and look, their first goal was too easy in between. Their second goal was Dubravka could have played it simple, and he tries to be cute with a pass out wide, and that contributed to our downfall. If that was Nick Pope giving the ball away, everybody would be talking about it for a couple of days after, because it's Dubravka, and I know he's flavour of the month for fans, it's not going to get mentioned. And just that goal, it just had a feeling of inevitability about it, and that's what I'm starting to feel a bit used to at home now. And we out. And I'm so frustrated because it was such an opportunity to stay in a competition 2 weeks after that cup final, where it's looking like, as I record this video, Man United are drawn against Fulham. Liverpool are out. Arsenal are out. you've got like Man City still left, Palace still left. You know, Bournemouth are still in it. It was just a chance to get to Wembley again and keep the season alive a little bit more, because all I'm bothered about is a trophy, and that's gone now. And we've even got Anthony Gordon sent off just to sprinkle on a bit more joy and a bit more fun. Look, I'm frustrated with what I see in our fan base, and I keep saying this every week, and it's not me slating my own, it's because I am losing patience in WhatsApp groups. The amount of grief players like Jacob Murphy are getting, it's just getting a little bit annoying. Look, I'm negative today. We're all a little bit negative and a bit pessimistic, but today was just, we boil over so quickly in that stadium sometimes. And I joke to the bloke to my right, is every fan base like this, do you think? Like Jacob Murphy misplaced the pass and the whole stadium was on his back, effing and blinding and calling him everything. And it must get to these players who support the club like Murphy does. So look, where does this leave us? Well, we only had one Premier League game in March. Now we've got one cup final and one Premier League match, and that's it. Best of luck to Brighton. I'd love to see a team like that who've never won a trophy before, never mind how long our Barron run's been. I'd love to see a team like that get to the final, why not? I'd rather them over Man City or Man United to go all the way. They do play some good stuff at times, and they've got some exciting players. But referee performance was awful today. Our game management was awful. There's got to be questions about how we're dropping off in the second half of matches. That's 2 defeats in a week. And of course, we are in some bad form just before Wembley. If you want us to grab some positives from today, Joe Linton coming back and looking bright. Isak, we don't know how bad his injury is, if he's injured. He's looked every part, the bit of class that we need to win cup finals. But all I'll say to any Newcastle fans saying the cup finals written off, in one game in isolation we can beat anyone. It's just we seem to be on bad runs of form every time these big matches come around. Liverpool have got to play Premier League and PSG twice, so it's not one. They can get players injured. They might be tired. If we believe we're going down there, we can beat anyone, but it's a big ask. And if that cup final goes to shit, we've just got European football to fight for, nothing else. We haven't spent in 3 transfer windows, and in my opinion, in matches like this, when you want to rotate a little bit with quality, it's starting to bite us on the arse when a 5th round game goes to extra time. Look at Newcastle fans. Keep the faith. There's going to be lots of videos hopefully coming from me before that cup final. I've mixed it up a bit on this one. There'll be a match vlog tomorrow with fan reaction, but I'm trying to do an instant match reaction. So let us know if you prefer this format. What that follow, what that subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. A little bit more in depth. I've tried to analyse the game as much as I can from notes I made. And as always, just try and keep the faith. But my God, I'm going to go and sink a glass of red because it feels really difficult tonight. It feels like Newcastle just implode at the most important times when that's the last thing we need. Just trying to put a trophy in that cabinet. Who'd be a football fan? Who'd be a Newcastle fan is what the term should be. Keep the faith. And as always, away the lads!